Tell me.
What did you do that was off in your interactions after? Did you switch? Like, hey, also, thing you done. I ain't want to you. I passed me straight thing, Y'all in that thing, you go on the other side. Let's get real. Were you one of those people?
I said, give me back my money. I just play. He didn't have money. But here's the place where it really went wrong. I remember I said I did wrong in the aftermath.
Right.
Yes, it was a conversation, whatever, but I did wrong in the aftermath. I made it a point of duty
Okay.
to ignore. Like, I was like thinking about how I gonna pass you straight. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
That's petty.
no, but
it's honest.
Yeah, no, the truth is,
It's honest.
you want to prove that you're okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to like,
But do you think ignoring the person proves you're okay though? Because for me, it looks like
it's a comfort to a fool.
Oh, okay.
So the fool here is like, yeah, but I could though. You know what I'm saying? But you know you're not good. You hitting. You know what I mean?
Wait. Is it like ignore to the extent where you saw them walking? Let's say past the science building, right? It have the hedges.
People who know campus.
People who know campus.
You know the gazebo, the walkway.
There's the hedges, there's the hanging gardens, the stairs dropping out, right?
Yeah.
Is it a situation where you would even have to jump down a few stairs?
No.
Listen, get away?
Whoops. Bad man. I ain't dodging you. I walking past you.
Oh,
Yes.
so it was vindictive.
Yeah, how you mean?
We're gonna see each other in the distance.
Yeah,
and when we are
man.
close,
Yeah.
I am literally pretending that you don't exist.
We
like
doing it.
and you're not the worst time sometimes it's like you just raise that hand to say hi.
Yeah.
You just raise that hand, Carrie.
Yeah.
I feel like if I could hear you saying that, just raise that hand to say hi. Watch how fast I zoom by you. I just
No, to be fair, a couple of times when we pass each other, we daps, yeah, like but like that's like probabilities, yeah. But it's like you church setting, like passing straight, do whatever you have to do.
Wow.
You know what I mean, because in one sense, my preoccupation was to prove a point that I'm good,
right.
and like I said,
You're above this.
Yeah, I'm above this.
Yeah.
Comfortable. But here's the thing, right? Here's why I know when we talk about burning bridges, like I was preoccupied with burning bridges. Like, I done. But here's what I recognized. By being so preoccupied with burning the bridge, I forget that I have to build me.
Wow.
So I couldn't release that situation. Like when you talk about, when some person say I'm over this,
Yeah.
I couldn't truly believe that I was over it.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, hello and welcome everyone to the BeanBag Podcast. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. All right. Well, hello and welcome everyone to the BeanBag Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome.
BeanBag?
BeanBag.
Where's the beanbags?
Well, we were supposed to have beans. We were at least supposed to have beans.
And a bag to put the beans in.
Or at least a bowl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, sometimes, things don't translate over. For now, there are beans in a bag.
There are beans. Spiritual beans.
Spiritual beans that will be spilled.
But some persons are looking at this and they're like, yo, what is the BeanBag Podcast? But Shirley and I actually, we birthed this idea. It's like in December.
Yeah.
Oh God, we're in May. so good things do take time. But we were talking about how that in our culture today, there tends to be a lot of these kinds of things where you're spilling the beans.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're spilling the beans. And we were like, how about we flip that? We're not here to like spill the beans. We're here to save the beans. You remember that?
Yeah, we're not trying to spill the beans. We're trying to keep it.
That's it. And the place where we're trying to keep it is that safe place where we find in Christ. Because one of the cultures that we're trying to cultivate is, can we as young people bring the things that bother us into this space to Christ, where we can not only learn how, but confide in.
It's a word.
Cha.
It's a word. Shout out to our youth pastor, Pastor Kerry.
Sounds to be like you have a little reel going on. But that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. So we're really excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to explore some of the topics that I wouldn't say wild, but some may be wild.
Yeah.
You know?
Wild and real.
Wild and real.
Yeah.
But we're going to do it in the beanbag from this Christian perspective. And, you know, we're just going to let the Spirit take us wherever
it goes. And there is diversity in the BeanBag Podcast. And here's why. There's black beans, there's pigeon, there's red, there's pink. It have a number of different beans. Well, the green beans,
Yeah.
Which is your favorite bean?
I like pigeon.
I like pink beans. You know why?
Why?
I find it just cook faster. And I when I'm hungry, I ain't look at the wheat. Red beans that take so much time.
Actually, I like black. I like black because of my little experience in that Spanish culture recently.
Oh, you taste some nice little,
I like black beans. When they're done well.
When it's
or the chili
done
beans.
well.
Or the chili beans.
Chili beans.
Yeah,
I feel like chili beans would make more sense if you're doing the black beans.
Yeah.
But we recognize like there's such diversity in the bean space. And whatever the bean is, whatever the shape or the size, we want to deal with it in this beanbag situation.
Yeah, we're gonna cook it down.
Cook it down. We're bringing everything here, and here's the beautiful thing. The reason why we're saving the beans is because we want to do something with the beans.
Yeah. I would.
What do we? And that's what I'm saying. Like, what your painful situation, the thing that's on your mind.
Yeah.
It can be converted to help you become useful in God's service.
It's true.
Because sometimes when you leave certain things undealt, you create a how do I put it? A setback situation.
It's true.
Where you're keeping yourself back from moving forward in Christ.
And I would say also you aren't as developed as you should be. Seeing how we're talking about beans. A bean by itself.
I see where you're going.
No one is trying to just eat a hard bean by itself. But you see, when you put that into a pressure cooker, and that pressure is applied, you hear like, hey, I had to put that thing in the pressure cooker so the beans could bust. When that pressure is applied and that beans gets cooked in that pressure cooker, then you are able to add in all your all the different things that you want to add in there, ingredients to make it into something delicious. So it's like the same thing of a diamond being formed under pressure. These beans that we have that people like to spill, actually you need to hold that, allow the pressure to cook it so that you can develop and grow into something delicious and good.
Oh, taste and see
that the Lord is good.
Blessed are the day that trust in him. I think we're onto something very beautiful, and I'm hoping that those of you listening can really see where this is going and share some of your ideas, share the things that's on your mind. And so, Chanel, like I was telling Pastor, I always mock the people who say this on YouTube, but I'm actually gonna say it here.
Here we are.
Like and subscribe and
share.
Turn on your post notifications so that wherever you see this, you will hear it whenever we drop a next video. So one of the things we talked about, things that set us back, prevent us from being cooked and used in service. One of those things, which is the headline for our episode today,
yes, it's interesting,
is breakups. Breakups have a way that if we, depending on how you handle it, it could either hold you back or push you forward.
It's a different type of cooking.
It's a different type of cooking.
It's a different
type of cooking. And some of us, when we go through that pot of a breakup, oh God, what happens in there? Ah, geez.
Just so many things. My thing is, right, Carrie, I want to know, why this topic? Because This topic was, something you seemed
Sips tea.
right. You're sipping tea, we're not spilling the beans.
Yeah.
But I feel like this topic was something that you were like, yeah, let's do breakups.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So is it that you are coming from a place of experience?
Absolutely. And I think the reason I say absolutely without trying to be diplomatic is because we're trying to get straight on this podcast. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
The reason why I'm quite interested in that is because from my experience, I've seen how a breakup could actually hold you back or push you forward. And I felt what it felt like to be held back. Because of
elaborate.
Because of mishandling the situation. You end up in a situation that's like, yo. So my thinking was, could it be that other persons around us are mishandling the same?
Of course.
And to what degree then is it that their mishandling is keeping them back from moving forward into God's will for their lives? Because let's say you go through a breakup, yeah? And you get so caught up with this other person and your vendetta.
It's true.
That the only thing you business about
is making
sure they know what they miss. You know what I mean? And instead of being useful in God's service, that's your main preoccupation.
Or even instead of allowing the lessons that God meant for you to learn from that breakup to be something that you grow from.
That's it.
You get your own lessons. Your lessons say like, if it's the last thing I do, Joe will think the day that he leave me.
You gonna regret
the day. Thing. Hey,
as soon as all you're done, that Instagram get refresh. You know what I mean? You cutting the place up. Yeah.
Right? It gets a refresh right after you post like several different stories about if you don't know what you're missing, if you don't know the worth,
you become a philosopher.
Any man who doesn't know the worth of you, you're a queen. Don't worry when he leaves. Put your crown on. Like we have like a million different memes and stuff.
No, and they're far and wide because, and I think it's, I want to reserve judgment because we kind of probably over 5 minutes in, but it's so toxic, man.
It is.
It's like toxic, bruh. Like, for example, let me show you the kind of toxicity, yeah? Let's say you and I together. And you've been telling me, Kerry, you need to wear more of that blue jersey.
Right.
And listen, I know you like that blue jersey, right? Because you've been telling me what when we done, I rocking that blue jersey.
In a jacket, in a waistcoat, just a thing.
But I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? I'll make sure you feel it though. Like only time I was telling you, hey, Shins, I like that braids.
Yeah.
Yes, honey. And you're not doing it.
Oh
when
my gosh.
we done, you're putting them braids.
I feel attacked though. I feel attacked. I feel slightly attacked because I feel like if I heard something like that once. But listen, just in my defense.
Yeah.
In my defense, right? The timeline, sometimes it looks like if you are doing certain things to really get that person back. But sometimes it's just that the timeline and the season doesn't align. It wasn't the season for that type of look.
Come on, look at you. You try to defend
but
yourself.
after the breakup happened, the season came when it was possible to do those things. So it looks like you're trying to get back at them, but hey, it's a season.
I'm not buying that.
It's a season. And shout out to all the people who understand what I'm saying right now.
I can't buy that.
Do you buy it? Tell us in the comments.
Do you guys buy it? No, I don't, because I feel like there's always a reason and a justification for why we do things.
No.
And you could pull a couple of them well, and that just happened to be the most, convenient one at the time to say, well, yeah,
Okay, I'll give an example for some persons who, went into the pandemic, booed up. It was our coffin season for a period of time.
Yeah,
everybody locked in, locked down. And then, things happen. Now, you're not in that space anymore. Person might say, hey, you're taking this time to really dress up and do the most. But no, you were in a pandemic. You didn't have anywhere to go. So how could you even dress up?
Look at you.
And I'm
Look
just
at you.
saying.
You trying to say we couldn't be creative in the pandemic?
I'm just saying, clearly, it's not a vendetta. It's literally a season.
But I think at the same time too, all jokes aside, it's important to recognize that how things are interpreted, because it may actually be a season. That at that point you couldn't do that certain thing, but that season now allows you the liberties to do that.
It's true.
And so because we now done, it's like I'm beginning to construe that you now doing that.
Yeah.
I ain't not seeing seasons in a pattern. I just seen the fact that this is what you're doing after we're done. But we're looking at the idea of breakups because I feel like we have categorized breakups more along the lines of burning rather than building. So it's so a breakup we think is about burning a bridge.
Yeah.
Rather than building a bridge. And could it be then that the breakup is meant for both of you to build?
A lot of times, yes, but we aren't in the space to see that because on the receiving end, if you weren't in a place where you thought it wasn't necessary for you guys to break up, there's no way you're seeing it as this is a moment for me to just really build those blocks to grow. I'm
don't
gonna
think you
grow
want to bump the
from
builder
this.
situation. You're trying to
You're not trying to hear anything Carrie's saying on this building a bridge, but just hear us out. We're gonna explore why we think there is a lesson even in the midst of this very emotional time.
For some of you,
for some of you, why we think God is allowing these things to be something that would build you. So Carrie, I want to know your experience. Let's get into the juice.
Yeah, you're getting in there, boy. What do you want to know?
Let's start from the top.
Put me on the soapbox.
So you had a situation with a breakup. Give us the story.
Put my hands inside my hoodie. Please, getting cool.
It's true. It is getting cool. Give us the story.
So maybe in one sense, this is like the inspiration behind this entire. So they gave a little interlude, a little prelude to that in the beginning. But for me, I remember when I went through a breakup. Wait, I've never actually spoken about this in any public way.
Well, here's the place.
I sung like I'm damaged. God have mercy. So I'll tell you, the long and short of it was when we broke up, I handled it wrong. Cause I was like,
Could you
go into
tell us why?
Why I handled it wrong?
No, why y'all broke up?
Oh, you going in?
I mean, we're here.
But here's the thing, right? The reason why we broke up was because on both of our parts, we were not ready for what the relationship called us to. Because one of the things we both realized was when you're in a relationship, the relationship expects you to give things that if you didn't spend time developing, it will seem like a strain when the relationship calls for it.
Yep.
And so we were like, could it be that we needed to take a step back to develop, to build, to take a step back to look at ourselves, to address certain core things that we both have, so that we could, how do I put it, be able, or at least be equipped to give what the relationship requests.
Needed.
Because when you get into a relationship, right, now is not the time to have self-esteem issues.
Oh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? No, it's not the time to be doubting who you are and all that. No, by the time you get into a relationship, you need to come into the relationship equipped enough that you can contribute to the building of another person. And if you haven't spent time in your early development years building you, developing in one sense holistically enough, you are not going to be equipped to even contribute to the development of another person.
That is a whole gem right now, That is like the full bag of beans. Because that needs to actually be just a separate episode. You know, I think a lot of times we don't, even within the Christian community, we're going in, right? I'm just going to say it. A lot of times we see people together. We tell people like, hey, oh my gosh, y'all should get married. Y'all should be together. This would look so good.
Y'all look good together.
Y'all look so good together. Oh my word, y'all should. Right? But we never consider the self-growth that has to take place for a relationship to be successful. Because you can never find happiness and joy and you know, you cannot find completeness in your like purpose and yourself within someone else.
Watch what this podcast
The completion that happens in marriage.
Yeah.
You know, that is the spiritual bond that God then blesses and allows other things to grow and evolve. But you are not supposed to come in expecting someone else to fill you. God is supposed to fill you. You are supposed to look within yourself and work on things and improve just basic relationships around you and different stuff like that. So that when you get into a relationship, you are in that place, as he said, to, you know, as relationships call for different type of growth, you are mentally in that space where you are already working on yourself, already growing, and you're ready to, you know, step up to that call. But a lot of times we just get encouraged, like everybody would just be like, oh, y'all look so good together. Y'all should, you know, get together. Why y'all not together, you know? And it's not enough.
And if persons are looking for the biblical model that says there ought to be some level of self-development and self-actualization before a relationship, you find it right in Genesis. If you watch Genesis chapter 2:15, you're seeing the scenario where God is giving, he took Adam and he put him in Eden to tend and to keep it. All this is happening before Eve is on the scene.
Yeah.
Adam has a work to do, a purpose to fulfill before the woman. Your work must take priority before you get the woman. Because here's the thing. When you're busy in God's mission, you now know what you need help for. But if I'm not on God's mission, why do I need a helpmeet?
And you know, Carrie, in this time, I know some females, I hope you all don't come for me, but just hear me out, right?
Yeah.
In this time, there is that type of banner that is waved, you know, independent woman, totally agree. I don't need a man to do anything. I could do whatever else, this and that. And I just really, I can say now I understand how the devil has really caused that to mess with our minds. Yeah. Because at a point in time, I felt that way. Like, you know, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need help with this or that. I have my stuff. I can handle myself. I know how to do whatever. And, you know, I can.
I was about to affirm you there for a second because you handle your thing.
Thank you.
Like you do it how to do it. Guys, you seen her her hoodie, guys? I am Chanel Spencer. That's her whole brand.
I can't handle myself. But it really took me, you know, my past relationship, it taught me so much about that mentality and how it was totally against what God wanted. And it showed me the value of being in a team, especially in a relationship type setting, team. You know, it showed me how much your character grows. Yeah. You know, having that, being able to share insight on just different ideas and things with somebody who also is trying to be godly or trying to, you know, have a better relationship with Christ. It helps you to just grow in ways that I can definitely tell you, I'm not the same person I was 4 years ago. And I know it has a lot to do with me being in that relationship in the past and being able to grow so much. So we spoke about that aspect, y'all not being prepared, which we'll definitely have to do another episode on preparedness, right?
Preparedness,
Guys, don't listen to love all the old people and, you know, elderly people of our church.
You say old people, yeah? So,
I love the elderlies of our church. I love the older,
the more seasoned,
matured,
senior individuals.
People. You know, all the ranges, I love y'all, but y'all can't be sending us into this thing without letting us know
what's up, man.
What's really up. Yeah, and some of us need some self-development. So, you know, hold us accountable on that. So, Carrie, get back to telling us how you went wrong, because you said you went wrong, and as a female, I'm watching you.
Oh, you are? Yeah, boy. Yeah.
How did you go wrong?
I'll tell you how I went wrong. Persons always like to say, well, it's their fault. And I'll tell you, it was mine.
In real.
And it's not no scandal. It's not he cheat, he do whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's generally like the go-to. Like,
yeah. When it's your fault.
I watching your partner. Yeah, so I say. But I allowed myself during the relationship to spend less time on what I was supposed to be doing. And I'll give you a couple metrics. I got less involved in church because I wanted to spend more time. I read my Bible less. I was literally making this thing a god.
Wow.
And what it did was it held me back. And if there's anything I've learned about women over the past couple of years is a woman might say that she wants you to be all there for her, but she wants you to be about your business.
Yeah.
And that's why in one sense you can't really listen to what they're saying.
But
you
listen.
Because but listen at the same time, because it's like, okay, yeah, I want you to be present and listen to me and be there for me, emotionally available and all of that. But at the same time, if you slip, if you forget what, you no longer become attractive. If you are not on mission.
It's true. It's true. It's sad, but it's true.
And so the place I know I went wrong was I made that relationship a god. And so one of my people I think don't even know this. I remember praying a prayer. I said, Lord, if such and such happens again, then take this away. The thing happened again. The relationship get.
Wow.
And I'm mad with God, right? And then it hit me a couple months later. They say, whoops, you forget you did pray that prayer.
I know, right?
And so I was like, well, why you put your foot in your mouth? So I'm like, sometimes this grace is sufficient. Because it's like God has to allow you to break up sometimes to save you from yourself.
It's true.
Because you going on a path and you blind. Because you giving this woman your everything. You giving this man your everything. And it's like, where is the space that God is meant to fill?
Yeah. I can't. But we can. We definitely can.
And I know this is kind of anticlimactic because somebody probably out there looking for some kind of drama. Yeah, so it's like, maybe, you really do something. No.
Yeah.
And here, I'll show you why this is important, right? When I deprioritize God and I prioritize the relationship above God, here's what happens. I begin to become obsessed with the relationship.
Right.
I begin to become I was in your foot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And women, but I don't know no woman who like a fella in her, like mature women.
Yeah.
Who like a guy always in their foot.
Yeah. Don't you have things to do?
Don't you have things to do? Like, you don't see us going? You know what I'm saying? They kind of want you to leave sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think what happens is because of that deprioritization, and she recognizes that she is the most important thing to you, and God is like the least important. God is not as important to you as she is. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That she is more important to you than God is.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, you will recognize
there's a decline. In the
now,
relationship.
that is just when you do it with like spiritual person in the relationship.
Yeah.
But for some person who may not even believe in God, I think that God element is a commitment to your purpose.
Right.
And if you are allowing that woman to see that, listen, you are willing to deprioritize your purpose for her, how you manage that relationship is going to be affected as a result.
Would you believe? A friend of mine, we have this thing where we say, we say dreams come first, and we like jump in the air mentally and say it, but it's really more purpose comes first. And we say this in light of, if anything, including romantic relationships, are getting in the way of what God is calling you to do, then it can't be first, because your purpose has to come first.
Yeah, and that takes a while to acclimatize too.
I feel like we can say this now also because of where we are at, maturity wise, as well as
it's hard, man.
We are older now, so we can say that now. But I would say before my last relationship, I didn't really think so deep into those things, I didn't think so deep into it. I don't know what I thought relationships itself would be, but my last relationship really matured me and changed the entire trajectory of my thought pattern. And the next thing to note, like, I'm sorry, we don't have juicier tea, like, the person thing on the thing and you catch them and
you're looking for drama.
I'm sorry, we don't have dramatic breakup stories, but I myself, well, you said you dealt with it wrong. I kind of want us to, like, what was your approach? What did you do that you felt like?
I dealt with it wrong more in the sense of the aftermath.
So
tell me.
What did you do that was off in your interactions after? Did you switch? Like, hey, also thing you done. I ain't want to you. I passing you straight. Y'all in that thing. You go on the other side. Let's get real. Were you one of those people?
I said, give me back my money. I just play. He didn't have money. But here's the place where it really went wrong. I remember I said I did wrong in the aftermath.
Right.
Yes, it was a conversation, whatever, but I did wrong in the aftermath. I made it a point of duty.
Okay.
To ignore. Like, I was like thinking about how I gonna pass you straight. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
that's petty.
No, but
it's honest.
Yeah, no, the truth is,
it's honest.
You want to prove that you're okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to But
do you think ignoring the person proves you're okay though? Because for me, it looks like
it's a comfort to a fool.
Oh, okay.
So the fool here is like, yeah, but I good though. You understand? But you're not good. You hitting. You know what I mean?
Wait. Is it like ignore to the extent where you saw them walking? Let's say past the science building, right? It have the hedges.
People who know campus.
People who know campus.
You know the the walkway.
There's the hedges, there's the hanging gardens, the stairs dropping up, right?
Yeah.
Is it a situation where you would even have to jump down a few stairs?
No. I
get away?
Whoops. Bad man. I ain't dodging you. I walking past you.
Oh, yes. So it was vindictive.
Yeah, how you mean?
We're gonna see each other in the distance.
Yeah,
and when we are close, I am literally pretending that you don't exist.
We're doing it.
And you know, the worst time sometimes it's like, you just raise that hand to say hi.
Yeah.
You just raise that hand, Carrie.
Yeah.
I feel like if I could hear you say that, just raise that hand to say hi. Watch how fast I zoom by you. I just got
no, to be fair, a couple of times when we pass each other, we daps, yeah, like but like that's like probabilities, yeah. But it's like you church setting, like passing straight, doing whatever you have to do.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, because in one sense, my preoccupation was to prove a point that I'm good,
right.
And like I said,
you're above this.
Yeah, I'm above this.
Yeah.
Comfortable. But here's the thing, right? Here's why I know when we talk about burning bridges, like I was preoccupied with burning bridges. Like, I done. But here's what I recognized. By being so preoccupied with burning the bridge, I forget that I have to build me.
Wow.
So I couldn't release that situation. Like when you talk about, when some person say I'm over this,
yeah.
I couldn't truly believe that I was over it. You know what I mean? Because it's like I'm thinking about how I gonna pass you straight still. How I'm going to show you that I'm okay. Like I keep wanting to prove a point that everything is fine. And by just doing that, you miss that maybe there is some work you still ought to be doing yourself, and you wasting time dealing in your vendetta when you could actually be stepping into God's will.
It's true.
Prioritizing God again. So that even after the relationship done, I'm still prioritizing the relationship in a sense.
Yeah, in a really twisted way. And not just that, you know. Right after a relationship, you know, because you're fresh off of like what it was that caused it. I think a lot of people go into this particular space, you know, sticking it to the person from their perspective. And they miss really taking that time to kind of go through, wait, what happened? Yeah. I know we don't like to do that for any situation, not just breakups, but like sitting down and really thinking about, okay, what happened? Why did we get to this point? This is one of the reasons why so many people miss what is actually wrong within themselves, or the things that they need to work on within themselves. Because they never sit down to say, wait, okay, let me play this situation over and see some of the places where I may have been at fault. Yeah. And sometimes, because, you know, there are people who break up and then they get back together, they're married, and then, you know, you hear them say like, God knew this was it, but we needed that space, this and that. Within that space, they would have done that same self-development and sometimes even was able to see their partner's perspective, you know, based on how it ended, I guess, you know. But a lot of times people miss that opportunity and then enter into another relationship to repeat the same exact situation again.
And you know why I think that cyclical thing happens? You spend so much time in the aftermath of the relationship on a vendetta. You forget the build. And so you enter into the new relationship, the same person. Yeah. With the same issues, even more.
Because you justified it from the last time.
Because you're more toxic now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Last time you was just like, I didn't even do that person anything. Last time you have about like 20 wrong things. You're like, what's wrong with them? I didn't even do them anything. Why they broke up with me? When you're telling everybody the story. Yeah.
Yeah, you the hero in that story.
I was blindsided, you know.
Yeah, left field.
You know, I didn't even do anything. And just out of the blue. Nah. Person leaving, and everybody's judging the person. That time.
Most people feel that thing in their belly when the plane drop altitude. When you know the plane about to go down, you feel that. So I do not buy that in a high percentage or majority of cases, partners don't know their contribution to a problem. You know. You just know.
You know.
When you're trying to play hero, you're trying to play like victim.
Yeah, and you know, you eating yourself in a way that is detrimental because you're not stopping to actually recognize what some of the issues within yourself are. A relationship itself is really all about building. And that's why I said before, I feel like if in the Christian community, we throw this thing around, people looking good together does not mean they should be together.
Yeah. Sad boy.
People, you know, seeming really great on Instagram or on Facebook or in Reels or on TikTok doesn't mean that they should be together.
Looks can be deceiving.
Looks are deceiving. Doesn't it, and sometimes too, even within, so I can give like a small overview, you know, within my situation of a breakup. My one it wasn't like just off the top, you know. There were a lot of different things that as an adult, when you really start to consider marriage and serious things, you have to weigh out, you know, what your purpose and your dreams are, and the person's aspiration and dreams. I would say, you know, to a certain extent, I can be selfish when it comes to my dreams because, you know, since I knew myself, I wanted to do music and certain things. You know, that's like something that I'm barely ever willing to budge on because I feel like until it is fulfilled, then, you know, if anything seems to be getting in the way of it or seems to be, you know, saying like, well, so you may have to make this particular move to get there, but like what's going to happen? Then I go like, but it's my purpose though. And that could be selfish. I'll admit it. It could be selfish.
That's
but
an
then,
episode on its own. That's an
is
episode.
it? I don't think
I'm trying not to go tangential, but like, yo, that's an episode on its own.
But then, purpose things are, I feel like if that is that's a sticky, purpose things are a bit different. But also as a female, I had to learn to respect, a male's perspective. I know some people, it's hard, I think it is important for a man to know where, what his purpose is, what he's doing, especially before he gets into marriage, as he is supposed to lead the house spiritually. We're talking from the Christian perspective, right?
Yeah.
So, as somebody who believes that, if our things aren't aligning, then I feel like if it's not the time. And that is where my decision would come from. Multiple things that don't align for me.
A lack of alignment.
Yeah, it would show me, hey, no matter how much I love this person or we seem really great together, of course there are things we both have to work on, but it's not a situation where, hey, this person did me dirty, I hate them. It's not that type of situation. It's more of we just may not be mature for a marriage, and we are not ready to give up or to sacrifice the things that we believe we are called to, which is sometimes rightfully so. If God called you to it, then He called you to it.
Yeah, because a relationship should never be at the sacrifice or at the detriment
of your purpose. Right. So I think that is more of my situation.
And I wanted to like reframe. I know you say like, I could be selfish. I want to rephrase that. You could be driven. You understand what I'm saying?
I get you.
Because you were meant to be on purpose.
Yeah.
Your entire life has to be about your purpose. The relationships are meant to be a catalyst.
And to add
to the furtherance of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I'm driven, but that makes the relationship make sense.
Right. Wow. And that is what it is. I think even in the midst of struggling to make that decision, because as I said, it's not like a scumbag situation. It's a really, good person. It's your best friend. In the midst of that, I got like, my one was more like, I prayed a prayer. Hey, listen, guys, praying.
You prayed a prayer.
When you see, you gotta be careful the prayers that you pray, because Jesus really be like, yep, got you on that. I prayed a prayer and I said the same thing, like, God, show me, what is what and this and that. And that particular week, I saw, when it's time to break up, a sermon came on. I was just like, wait, what? Nope, the devil. I was like, he sends signs too, I'm just saying, but then I said it was too many different things. And they came in a really calming kind of way. And the different messages and the things I heard wasn't from a place of like, hey, this person thinks, so da-da-da. It was from a place where I needed to understand. This person is currently in this place and their purpose. You are in this particular place and it's not aligning. And that's okay.
And you meant, well, the Adventist Home, I believe chapter 6, choosing a life partner.
Yes.
There was this idea that the Spirit of Prophecy was presenting, that the devil's goal is to bring people together who are misaligned so that it can affect their salvation.
Because it will be a constant clashing. You will literally, because a healthy relationship, and I'm so glad I read that book and got a wider understanding.
Yeah.
Marriage literally is connected directly to salvation.
Straight.
So that is one of the things that, myself and my partner then, we kept in the forefront of our mind. If we're not getting each other to that place spiritually, we're not growing. That means salvation, the chances of salvation is low, and it's scary when you really think deeply into the fact that whoever you attach yourself to is going to ultimately assist in you getting to heaven or not.
I I love where you go, because you see, this is you're using words like grow, getting into heaven, and what I was saying, one of the measuring questions was not whether or not you love the person.
No.
It was, does this person lift me
Elevate.
heavenward?
Yeah.
You understand?
I read the book. I read it.
I'm like, the goal of the relationship must be to lift you heavenward.
Yeah.
And you ask yourself a question. Can you, when you look at your relationship for yourself, you will know whether or not it's lifting you heavenward. You know whether or not it's taking you away from your purpose.
Yeah.
You know whether or not it's pulling you away from God and more to like worldly things.
Yeah.
You know.
And as I said, sometimes it's not that people are bad or anything like that. But a next tell that you will know as well. I remember there's a statement my mom says, like, anytime, somebody has to say like, oh, well, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, you and this person should be together. My mom would be like, well, I'm on the other end. I didn't get that from the Holy Spirit. God doesn't operate in a way where one person is informed alone on anything, right?
Somebody's telling me, oh God, like God don't like confusion.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
He doesn't like confusion.
Yeah.
He's not gonna leave you there trying to like explain to everybody. No, for real, he said.
Yeah.
And nobody else, even from the foundation of our church to now, just in different things, Bible stories, just in history. Multiple people would have been informed. Mm-hmm. One person got a vision, and it wasn't just that one person. Other people also were able to confirm on that.
The text was in the mouth of two, the thing is established.
Right.
Yeah. That's
and
the text. Yeah.
For me, if I have known since I was a child, God is calling me to this particular thing, no matter how much I bob, weave, I feel drawn to this kind of thing. Certain things I do, I'm surprised because this is not me, it's God working in me, and I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. And this could go for anybody who has a calling or a purpose. You just, when you touch this particular thing, stuff starts to happen and you don't know how did I make this? How did this become this? It's because that is your gift, that is your purpose. They're working. God is working through you and giving life to your purpose. If your partner doesn't understand that fully, and this wasn't particularly my case, but I'm just saying in general, if your partner doesn't fully have that vision or understand, or has no, like, your partner can't look, he or she can't look and see, hey, God is doing something particular here. I don't fully understand it, but this is a thing. The Spirit is telling them, like, hey, I know it seems crazy, I know it seems weird, I know it seems, but this is a thing. Then I'm gonna say, I don't think your partner probably should be your partner at this point.
Because here's where it comes home to me. You have to ensure that you understand the calling of God on your partner's life.
Yeah.
Because you have to know yours, but you have to know the calling of God on your partner's life.
And if it's one-sided, then it's a problem. Because there are people who see stuff within their partners and they affirm them. But then you hear a lot of stories of, I supported this person, or I was there for her during this time. And when they wanted to step out now, they didn't get that support back. And ultimately, you hear people saying stuff like, if I hadn't stayed with Frank, I'd have been a so-and-so. You never heard those? People all in their like 40s, 50s, 60s blaming their husbands and wives for not accomplishing things that they always wanted to do. From since a child, they knew they could sew real well, and they could have probably, I'm saying, let's not even let it reach the point where we have to blame somebody else. If God put purpose in you, He will make it happen, but you have to also step out, regardless of what your partner thinks.
And you know what's funny, boy? I never used to think about that. Like in the relationships of the past. Nobody's studying purpose. You feel like we out there. We out here.
It's love.
Yeah, we out here in love, though.
Love is a word that comes and goes.
So you ain't studying that. Your head hot. As they say, some persons use the analogy. Your tea hot. You understand what I'm saying? So it's, how do we come to the place where we have an appreciation for the value of understanding one's calling? in the direction of the relationship.
I have a wild question statement.
Talk
What
to
if
me.
somebody says, Gary and Shana, I get where you're coming from, but I feel like my purpose is to be with Bob. Or Jane is my purpose. What would you say?
The reason why my head gets thrown back is because an individual is your purpose.
But you never heard people feel like say like they feel like if their purpose was to be with that person and to just like support them.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. From a woman to a man.
Or
I
it
don't
could be
know
some
from a man
males
to a woman.
from they saw her since primary school and they just always got called. Now they catching hell, right? But
Yeah, I just
they feel like if they call, like they're meant to be, and that's a part of their purpose. You know, even in those TV shows and different things, they say like, you know, their stories, their lives like intertwined. And so no matter how toxic it looks, it's a thing. It's a thing. Like no matter how toxic it looks, or no matter how toxic it is, people feel like, I don't know. Yeah, you know, we always falling out. I was ranting on a live on Instagram or something or TikTok. But, you know, I just feel like we destined. That person just gets me in a way nobody can. I don't want to break up with them because we intertwined. We like one.
Yeah, I am uncomfortable with the premise that an individual is your purpose. I'm uncomfortable with that. And the reason is there should be a clear delineation between what your purpose is and who is helping you on your purpose. Or whose purpose you help contribute to, or whose purpose your purpose aligns with.
I hear you.
Like there should be a delineation. Like, nope. nope. You understand? Don't get caught up in that. Because there has to be a line must be drawn. And if you don't draw those, if those lines are blurry, here's what's going to happen. Your decision making is also going to be blurry.
It's true.
Because you begin to misconstrue that if I have this person, then I have purpose. No. Nope. Don't do it.
But what about that, all those different quotes that say, when you find your other half, you know your life is complete. You know, you never saw those reels and those TikToks where you hear in the background.
I
like,
do.
Nothing is greater than finding your other half.
I do.
That person who knows you better than everyone else.
But I think there's much to learn about understanding this other half scenario. And I don't even want to create another episode. But other half in terms of purpose, not in terms of person. Because you come a whole person.
Right.
I come a whole person.
Right.
But I will have a purpose that when it meshes with yours, we conquer the world. Like obeying God's command. We subduing the world. You know what I mean? And we're making God known in the lands. But my purpose is only half of it. Yours is the other half. But we come half purpose. But not half person.
Ooh, right. Become whole person.
Whole person.
Half purpose.
Half purpose.
Okay.
Because, Chanel, let me tell you, boy, there are some activities that you can't do by yourself.
It's true.
There's this portion in the middle of your back. You can't scratch it. You know what I'm saying? You can't scratch it.
I mean, if you are like, what do you call those persons who double jointed?
Double jointed, super flexible, whatever you want to call it.
But you will miss a part.
You miss a part.
You'll miss a part.
No, because to do it and to do it comfortably.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you might be able to reach whatever, but can you do it comfortably?
And we know God blessed.
Yeah.
He blessed marriage.
Yeah.
He blessed
Blessed marriage.
partnership. What that partnership does. So clearly, there are blessings that you can attain within there that you won't attain if you're single.
Yeah.
There are special blessings in there. Okay.
Correct. Like for example, this podcast. If this was a monologue, it hits different.
It's true.
But because it's a conversation,
it's true.
like I can't do what you're doing, and you can't do what I'm doing, but together you're liking it. Just wait. But you understand? So I think there is value in recognizing.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I appreciate too. Like it's rare to find young persons like yourself who are interested in podcasts as I am. You know, it's like, yo, Kerry, let's get this podcast. And, use that unfair advantage.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
And then we have this half purpose, and we jamming.
Yeah.
But it's possible.
Yeah.
Because we have a shared person, but you're a whole person. I am a whole person. But together we could push a word that applies to person's private situations, that makes, God's way of living applicable to our social situations. But we have a joint purpose.
It's true. It's true.
So when we take that concept and we bring it across to marriage, we bring it across to relationships, what is that joint purpose looking like?
But Kerry, what about the people who say, I'm not even at the marriage stage?
We never there yet.
I'm not there. I mean, I'm just, getting to know people, this and that. So it's like, I just see it that deep right now. Mm-hmm. Just this week, strangely. Mm. So I teach, by the way. Shout out to my students.
Shout out to your students.
They're in that teenage phase, teenage-est. Some nearer to young adults, others nowhere near there, so they really shouldn't be dating. But like 5 people told me I broke up. I'm like, why? What? Why are we even in a relationship? But that's besides the point.
That's it. I want to hold on to that. So, let's go.
That's besides the point. I broke up, and one particular person told me, "Hey, I got to take a fresh haircut. Ting. I coming back, and I'll make everybody feel it." And I was just like, okay, that person is in upper school, they're older, but it really made me think about that whole vendetta. And it starts from young, where we start to cultivate, hey, anything you do me. It's from there was a Cartel song. I don't even know I know this.
I almost sing it too. No, it's important because that's what was listening. Is
it true?
Anything you do me, I go do your back.
I go do your back.
Anything you do. But listen.
When you go to school, of course you mix with everybody, so you learn all sorts of songs. Yeah. And that song was a big song when we were growing up.
Yeah.
I mean,
eye for eye, tooth for tooth.
Yeah, that was a big song, and a lot of those types of songs talk about getting back, the person.
Yeah,
I got a term the other day from my kids. Who's your up?
Who's your up?
Yeah, you're like your opposition. Who have an issue like
I just had I feel old for a second. Like that one just.
I feel young because I know thanks kids.
You in tune. That's what's up.
Who's your up? Hey, it's who's it up? I'm like, up? They're like, yeah. I'm like, up? I'm trying to figure out up where, who's person's helping you above? And they were like, no, your opposition, like those who have an issue with you, how much ups you have.
How much ups you have?
I hope I'm saying the term right, but still.
You might get corrected.
It's like, this is the environment that they're in. They're bombarded. Young people, young adults, millennials, Gen Zs. Because they're bombarded by people either getting back. You've seen probably videos online with people saying like, so this is my boyfriend's car, and then you see them doing stuff and it goes viral.
Glass,
it's the culture says anything you do me, I go do you back.
Yeah.
So how do we deal with that? When we very well know that's actually like a trick of the devil to cultivate toxic people who don't know how to deal with disappointments in life. Because breakups is just like one difficulty of many difficulties you go through. But it's hard. It's an emotional dig. It's an ego. It's a dig on your ego. When you get broken up with, you feel like lesser than. You didn't get to make that call. Somebody else made that call for you. It affects your ego. So like how do you deal with that? And then on some people, and they can say, hey, this thing was so toxic and so bitter, I had no other choice but to grow and to glow from it. Not in a vindictive way, but in a I said, hey, I'm not letting this happen again.
Yeah. Build yourself. So instead of
I'm
burning,
cleaning up.
you build.
Yeah.
You're building. Yeah.
So it's like, how do we bombard what we're seeing so frequently? People, getting back. People making, TikToks with, like whatever song with, if you think with me, if you mess with me, so, and they do it and they're just like watching the camera like, you know who you are, I hate you. How do we combat?
Let me tell you, you have my head spinning, and I'll tell you why. You see, when you mentioned the influences of the world on how we handle our relationships, like that theme, it led me to think that regarding the how do we handle those situations, we've learned how to handle these breakup situations more from the world than we have from the word.
Facts.
And so now when you enter into a similar situation, the music you listen to tell you how to handle that.
Yep. I bust the windows out your car.
Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you learn.
You know that next one that was trending, ABC, where the person basically cursed out family, your friends, your dog.
Yeah.
So when people have these things that you hear and they are trending songs, they are like literally the soundtrack of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal now? How do you as a person sit down and say, I know I'm bombarded by these soundtracks of my life, but my decisions and how I deal with
them
cannot be the same exact way as these soundtracks. These trending songs. Correct. That when I go on my TikTok or whatever, correct, I hear like every other video, you hear it. So it sticks in your head. And and it's so toxic. Here's the crazy thing. There are people who breakups weren't even bad. Like they knew in their heart, they even low-key agreed, but because they were so bombarded by negative podcasts, negative songs, we spoke about that, some of the other, we spoke about some people who run podcasts, whether it is like Fit and Fresh or Samuel who, just passed. When you are bombarded by that kind of toxic content that is so one-sided, how are you going to sit down now and decipher in your mind, hey, this is not the best way for me to approach this. Hey, I can't get so enraged that I go and I kill my ex because of, or this does not, me and this person breaking up does not mean that I need to take my life because the value of my life does not come from me being with this person. How do you do that when you literally see everywhere, your purpose as a female is to this, or you as a man must be aggressive and or you see couples who obsess with each other and they can't live without each other, and how do you decipher that, hey, that is not real, and some of these people are so unhappy and miserable, but they have a following and they make money off of their misery. And some of them is business deals. It's just business for them. They don't care about how they are impacting people. So now you as a young person, you're left after consuming all of this. Young meaning, as I said, Gen Z, millennial, even older. You're left consuming. Because even for older, you have friends around you who went with persons who had red flags. They divorced now. And some women and men have so many friends around them, older, who have went through so many toxic relationships, toxicity just based on how they grew up, different things. They constantly hear men is trash, women is thing. And you hear it from old people like, hey man, make sure and hold your own head, don't let no man this and that. And it's like, it's so negative. Everybody's scared.
And so it's like, you mentioned that there's so much toxicity out there. And I think the toxicity comes from mixing truth with false. So for example, you mentioned Fit and Fresh and Kevin Samuels and the others, right? A lot of persons may agree with some of the stuff.
Yeah.
But every now and again, something fits in there
Yeah.
that is toxic. You understand?
That distorts
the
foundation of the truth.
Foundation of the truth. And it's like, because of that, right? You know, because of the small percentage of false, it makes the whole, because you can't have the best of both worlds.
You can't.
So you adopt a toxic way of handling your life situations based on the thing. Now I'm to bring it back full circle. In my own life, you have me thinking, where did I learn that approach from?
I know, right?
That wasn't in no Bible study. that wasn't in no Sabbath school. Where did I get that approach from? Where did you get the approach from in how you handled your breakup? Who taught you that? And I know, I didn't learn it. I didn't learn it in church.
No.
I learned it in the world.
Yeah.
And so one night when the story, how the plane truly landed with proper closure. One night, a couple years after, I was doing a study of Matthew 9, the Lord's Prayer. And I saw a line there and it hit me like a ton of bricks. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors.
Wow.
And it just hit me that the text, the most important word in that entire text wasn't even forgive. It wasn't even the us part. It was the word as, which was connecting the forgiveness that we want from God to the forgiveness that we have to give to other people. And so what the prayer was saying is, Lord, the same way as I want you to forgive me,
help me.
Forgive me the same way I forgive these people.
Wow.
So Chanel, if I forgive you halfway, the prayer is, okay, Lord, match me.
Wow.
So if you out here
match me.
Yeah, match me.
So
like,
if there's nothing to match, then you know
God can't
there's
move.
nothing coming to you.
Nothing coming to me.
Wow.
And so spent a good couple of months. God was matching me. It's like, okay, that's that. You want a vendetta? All right, cool. I can't do anything, bro. Like, oh, that's that. Oh, you're not forgiven? Well, I can't really forgive you. You know.
Wow.
And so sometimes we get caught up when we're praying and we're doing all sorts of stuff, but you're suffering from incomplete forgiveness because you haven't moved. That God is waiting on you to really release these people so that He can release you.
Yeah.
And it's mind-boggling because it shows that we have control over how God forgives us or how quickly God can forgive us.
Yeah.
And I think there was a time Jesus was saying, like, if it is that you're coming to the altar to make an offering and you have a grievance with your brother, He was saying, lay down the offering.
It's true.
Go and handle that. And
then come back.
Come back. So in other words, you cannot come to God until you've properly broken up.
Wait. Repeat.
Until so you cannot come to God until you've truly forgiven.
And you've let it go.
And you've let it go, because what forgive means is two things: to go before and to let go.
Right.
You're giving something. To give something doesn't mean taking. So you're putting it.
You're putting it before God.
You're putting it before God.
And that is basically you letting it go into His hands.
Correct. So forgiving means I am going to go ahead and give up something or to sacrifice something.
Wow.
To sacrifice that ego. To say how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm going first. In other words, I'm not waiting on you to initiate. I taking the step and I saying, hey, I have to address this thing, because if I wait on you, I will be held back.
But it just sucks sometimes to be the bigger person.
It
Let's be real.
It does. Because I was waiting for a good bit to say, well, okay, well, I will get approached. But no, If you waiting, if right now you probably waiting for somebody to approach you, but nah, it might not come, you know.
No. You know, that's the
Might
sad
never
thing.
come,
I
man.
feel like if
30 years from now.
I feel like if I've spent a good bit of time waiting for different people to approach, and it never happens.
It never happens.
Luckily, shout out to my parents. They always had this, like, you know, with life being so short and so, you know, we don't know where things will go. One of the things my mom would always say is, like, pray first and then go and approach somebody on a situation.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. That's
Pray
spot on.
first, cover
Spot on.
it, ask God to help you deal with, you know, the best possible way of bringing over, you know, this difficult, you know, conversation in whatever dispute, in whatever relationship. So pray on it. Then you approach a person, and if possible, you pray with them too before you'll have the discussion.
You know, you're literally describing how I did it, right?
Wow, I didn't even we didn't even pre-talk about it.
We had no script, the screen black. No, but you literally describing what I did.
Yeah.
I prayed first. I went, knocked on that door, had a conversation, and after that, we had worship that night.
Wow.
I'm talking about that person. We had worship that night, and that was the end of it. And let me tell you something, yeah? Let me tell you something. The load that came off.
Wow.
Let me tell you, I felt the benefits of forgiveness. Because after that conversation, yeah?
Yeah.
I never had to think about passing people street. I never had to think about vendetta. Bro, it was just, the load was just lifted.
It's a weight
And I could have
that is
moved now.
lifted off of you.
Yeah, I could have moved now. And I would tell anybody, forgiveness is for your benefit, boy.
It's for you.
It's
not
for
even,
you.
It's not even for the other person.
It's not for the other person.
And you know, you're so right. I had a really bitter experience in the past. Very, very bitter. And coming out of it, you know, the person didn't even, they had like a kind of, I'm not in control of some of them side effects. They had like this real just off, you know, response to the pain that I was going through from how things were approached. And for many years, I was just like, you see that person? I even remember I was working in the police service.
Jeez.
And a day...
You work in police?
Yeah. I worked in the police service. I've done a lot of things in my short life.
Fireman too.
I was working in the victim and counseling
Awesome.
you know, department of the police service.
Nice.
In an area where, you know, yeah. And I remember a day, this person, I found out they said some stuff, and I called them like, hey, why would you say, you know, ABC, this, your friend is spreading, so. And the person was like, what you want me to do about that? Just normal. What you want me to do about that? I was so mad. Tears started to run on my eyes. Now I'm dealing with all sorts of situations in this area.
At the same time, yeah.
So it's like, for me to, and I'm handling stuff like rape and, you know, different stuff. And
Cases
God is
that
like,
serious,
cases are serious. God is carrying me through. I didn't even break down for some of those things, even though it was heart-wrenching. But when this person told me that day, I was so mad. Tears just started to run on my eyes, and just the lack of respect and care. I said, like, how does person think they could just get off on doing people dirty?
Yeah,
and just,
but...
I mean, shout out to those who do people dirty, because I really grew from that experience, right?
Yeah, we can't shout you.
No. Shout out to you. You know why? Because
Yeah.
I just want you to know, like, God, in His Word, also confirmed that He doesn't like when people, you know, advantage other people. Just recently, I was doing some studies, and when I read through that particular scripture, I believe it was in Proverbs, I said, wow, God stressed multiple times, like, you know, through His influence, that people who take advantage of people who do certain things, He is coming for them.
Vengeance is mine, says the Lord.
And Ellen, I think even in one of her, I don't know if it's Marriage and a Family, but one of her books, I remember she said, you know, persons who flirt and allow people to get, you know, like they take people's emotions for a run. I don't know if you ever read that one. She said persons who take people's emotions for a run you will reap the benefits of that. You will be punished because that's something that God doesn't like. She spoke about it, and I was so surprised because I was just like, wow, I knew. Not because I experienced it too, you know. But I just had that feeling like, you can't do people like that.
You can't do people like that.
And the officer said, hey, Chanel, just tell us when our man working. We'll drive by. I said, I paused. I thought for a while. I was just like, vengeance belongs to the Lord. Through people sometimes. I was like, is this God's will? And then I quickly heard my, what I was brought up in saying, no, this is not God's will.
This is not God's will.
I said, no, it's okay. I said, what will come, will come. I don't know if what came. And
you know what's,
however,
you know what's the other part about it? Sorry. Go ahead. However, yeah, people really want to hear this.
However, years later, when I got in my, I would say my growth relationship, the one that I honestly value the most.
Yeah.
When I got into that relationship, I remember my partner told me, hey, you need to call this person because there's still a certain amount of pain and baggage from that particular time.
Come on.
You need to call this person and talk to them and just forgive them. So even though I had moved on and years had passed in my head, I still couldn't get over, hey, I was nice to you. I was good to you. But you said stuff that went out there in a kind of way that, tarnished me, and you didn't care when I called. You didn't care enough to say, I'm sorry about that. You had an attitude. That's the part that digged me.
You dig your heels in.
Yeah. That digged me. And I didn't recognize till I got with that person then that I didn't let that go. I didn't let it go. I was like, you know what? You go ahead. You continue. You will fall in a hole a day.
You know what you show? You know what you showed me there? You showed me that you do the relationship that you're in now a service when you deal with your past.
When you deal with your past and just calling that person letting them know that, hey, you see this particular thing? When, all the other stuff, that was in the past. We were younger, more immature, cool. But this particular moment here, when I needed to know that, hey, you were going to have my back, have my integrities back, etc. And you didn't. It's something that really made me build up an underlying hate in my heart.
Now, one of the things we actually want to cover in this podcast, if you guys are interested in that, what would that call sound like? How do you approach that call? Keep you on a cliffhanger for a second. We may not discuss it here. But what would that call look like? Let's say it's time to approach them. You do all your prayers before, and now it's time to face the person that you need closure with or closure from.
Oh,
how do you keep yourself flipping the place?
I was trembling. I'm not even lying. I was trembling. My hand was when a person answered, I was just like, whew. I felt like the room was closing.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, sure. What's going on?
I'm like, hey, Frank.
Yeah, what's going on?
I just wanted to talk to you about what happened, before. And I just want you to hear me out because it's something that I really think I need to talk to you about and move forward from.
Okay.
And I remember the person made the specific line, and I'm gonna say this too. We getting real.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this too. Sometimes in the midst of that breakup, when you are about to really confront that person, just know that the devil, he is also present, waiting to make things go wrong at any moment, especially when it's really heart-wrenching, difficult things. So some of the person responses, man, if I didn't pray.
Oh God. Yeah,
I didn't pray.
Flip the place down.
I don't know what I would have said. I don't even curse. But I feel like if in that conversation, I wanted to tell that person a few choice, non-Jesus loving words.
Explicitives.
I wanted to drop a few bombs. The person said, boop. You still on that?
Whoa.
You still on that?
Yo.
I said, wait. I said, listen, what we not about to do?
Yo.
I said, what we not about to do?
Gaslighting.
You are not going to like, shut me down. I just have a few things to say, and I'm going to say it, and you're going to listen to what I'm saying.
Papa, yo.
Because you weren't wrong. And these things affected my character. The person jump out to say, well, my character, my name dirty because you told people negative stuff. I said, me? No, your actions. Your actions are following you, not me. Any extra negative things you heard is because of your actions. Your actions are following you, not me. I said, hey, I'm not that. They know the person who I was dating. So I told them like, hey, so advised me to have this talk with you, and out of respect for what we have, and I wanted to grow, I'm having this. So I started from this situation. And at a point in time, I'm there talking, and I'm hoping, I said, Jesus, please don't help this person to say anything out of time. And please, Jesus, please. I don't want to. I am like literally trembling on the phone talking to them, and I'm angry, because I'm remembering. This person, and it's like the devil just keep choking them and say out of time and stuff. Say something. Make her curse you.
Press that button now.
Go ahead, press it. The person say,
yeah.
What? I did that? That thing's so far in the recesses. I can't even remember that. I can't remember nothing really from that time, I said, it's the crazy thing about life. The people who victimize people does never remember. And I'm glad I said that instead of what the other thing that came to mind.
You said that?
I told him that.
Okay, good. Yeah,
I said the people who victimize people never remember. When he said that, I said, wait, Jesus, you really testing me in this moment, boy. Like, if I don't come out from this test, the devil's just like,
yeah,
blow up. I dare you, blow up. I'll make him keep saying stuff, like, I'll make him keep just gaslighting you and turn it off. And at a point in time, I started to get aggressive. I had to just take a minute. It started to get, I was so annoyed.
Drink some fresh and hot. You understand?
It's kind of cool now, but...
It's kind of cool. Yeah, you probably need to cool down. That's what we're...
Just remembering it. Not that I have that same anger now, guys. Just saying. But I got so hit. My uncle peeped over and he say, hey, you want me to handle a young man or what? Because he heard when I was like, he say, what going on there? I said, no, uncle, I good. I took a minute. I said, Jesus, please help me. Help me, because this situation has really affected me negatively, and I want to get past it. Every guy is not going to do this. And it's the thing, now I could say some of it wasn't even his fault. When things get to other people, they could get distorted. So by the time something reached down 5th person, 6th person, a story could change. And that's hard.
Yeah, you remember that game?
That's hard. And as a female, that really sucks. Tough, yeah. Because when your name gets out there for things, it's hard to justify or explain. People run with juicy stuff, and juicy stuff is usually horrible rumors, bad things. Now, Jesus, my mom knows my heart, my sins, so I'm clear. But back then, it was really difficult, to justify or to explain certain things. And I put probably all of it on him at that point in time. Now I can say it really wasn't all on him. Yeah. So shout out to him. Yeah. I know it wasn't all your fault, in that regard. Yeah. But at that point in time, what I didn't need to hear was well, I can't do nothing if he take what I said and twist it. That's not right. And I spoke through it. I prayed. I kept praying because I kept getting angry, then going down. Going down. Yeah. And he finally at the end stopped responding in that way. Mid the conversation.
Thank God for prayer.
And he was like, "Hey, I'm really sorry." He said, "I didn't even know how far it went." And then I was like,
Amen.
Okay, I'm coming down. I said, well, yeah, that's the thing, when rumors get out or things. He said, I don't know how far it went. I didn't know the person would have. And then it was so toxic then, I doubt he was going to try to pay attention to how it was going in a negative way, And then I said, hey, I also didn't spread so and so, on your end. That's additional things that have nothing to do with me. And we cleared the air. And I said, hey, I hope we could be cordial going forward. So. And I was like, okay, well, thanks for things. Tell your mom hi.
Yeah, I'll see you.
Shout out to your family, real cool people.
Yeah.
But after that, I had to do some deep dive into and just even consider, some of his experiences, how he grew up, different things in his life. That the reality is, when you come to somebody who has been through certain things, sometimes you're not going to get the response you're looking for because they don't know how to give it to you. Their experiences or their maturity, spiritual maturity, hasn't led them to acknowledge some of those things within themselves. So sometimes you might have to take kind of like a L.
Yeah.
And just know, like, okay, I spoke to the person. They tried to get where I was coming from. They may not know fully, but I need to forgive them and push forward. And since I did that, it's like this weight I was carrying around for many years. Just
it load off. Boy, oh yes, that's the feeling. It's liberating. Liberating. Listen, if there was a picture or at least a feeling in the dictionary associated with the word liberating, it would be forgiving someone.
Yeah.
And the load that come off when you actually have a civil, consecrated conversation where persons are at their senses and the emotionality is at a controlled level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then
you feel free.
You feel free, man. You feel free. Because let me tell you something. I know it have people out there. They have somebody on heart.
Yeah.
And it's probably been 5-6 years, bro. Like, it's been long.
Some people, they're in their 60s and they're like, I remember back in 1952.
And listen,
Frank, you're like, what?
People
20 years ago.
People remember, and people remember vividly.
Yeah.
So they can tell you down to the T how somebody wronged them.
The shoot they had on everything.
You know what's the play?
What?
When you have gone through what you've gone through and you close it up after a couple of years later, it's very difficult to recount the wrongs,
Yeah.
Like let me tell you, before that I could have tell you all the things that them do. That's what I'm saying.
Now you can't remember.
No, it's hard. Like and I understand what it says when God forgives us and He throws it into the depths of the sea as far as the east is the west. You know what I mean? I get it because sometimes we try and figure out how it is that God could actually forget what we've done.
Yeah.
But if you do forgiveness right, you will find that forgetting comes easy. Not that you haven't learned, so that you aren't, more vigilant.
Yeah.
To go back and get yourself in same situations.
Exactly.
But it's very difficult to try to remember the wrongs that persons have done you.
And it allows you to interact with fresh people
Freely.
in a different way. So that baggage you always hear about, I have some baggage, and I find these people claiming toxicity in a real nice, like, I know I'm a little toxic, but
yes,
I hear people saying it all the time. I'm like, why would you be proud of that? No, work on those things.
I toxic.
You know, like I hear somebody tell me the other day, like, we all have some toxicity in us, you just have to embrace it and move forward. I'm like,
embrace it?
No.
Nah, shun it.
Toxicity kills. That's why, you see that big X sign.
That's
like
it.
Death.
Ooh, that's
so
it. Toxicity kills.
Toxicity as well as dysfunction. People like, we're all dysfunctional. There's always... No, we all have issues. We all have problems. But we should never, ever embrace,
Don't embrace the dysfunction.
Don't embrace dysfunction.
Be intolerant to dysfunction.
And just know that it's refreshing when you get to interact with somebody now from a perspective where you're not angry, you're not hateful. Some people take stuff from their past relationship into the new one.
Burn it across.
And then they turn that relationship into something messy. And then they're like, dang it. It's just like just being able to step into a new space and say, what? I've grown.
Thank God.
I'm no longer where I was. I can see my ex.
Thank God.
And heal them out.
Yeah.
Same person. Like that person, I think they are so gifted. They're amazing. I only wish them well. No.
And I like the fact that you added now because before listen to me, right? Before that conversation,
No.
you might have said that, but you might not have meant it to the fullest.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I wish them all the best.
Yeah. I guess. You know that song from John Legend? You know when he said in his song, I wish you all the best?
Oh yeah, and I pray over.
Yeah. I think there was a line, I guess, at the end. I wish you all the best. I guess. I was like,
oh,
John,
that is so
I
applicable.
feel that, I guess, because a lot of people feel like,
Yeah,
I wish you all the best. I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, oh, there's this now. Oh God, we really shouldn't be touting these people's songs, you know.
This is real life.
Yeah, it's really like, but that, I think it was Labyrinth who sung it.
Oh, jealous?
Yeah, I'm jealous of the way
Yeah.
you're happy without me.
Yeah.
So,
But that's toxic though.
that's toxic.
You know? oh. The people who go and they stalk the ex whole day on Instagram.
Yeah.
Watch the ex in all the pictures.
Yeah. Yo, God.
Out with co-workers.
God.
They're having a good time.
God.
All of a
Oh,
sudden,
God.
you're asking the ex, hey, stop wearing that jeans now. They buy 4 new jeans.
4 new
How you
jeans.
know? Because you're watching each day. You see it, but a grey, a blue. Where do you want me to stain? Oh, they get rid of it.
No, I know, and the point that to bring it home in one sense is the going through that process is there's a level of consecration that must happen.
Yeah.
While you're in that process of forgiving, there's a conversation that you must be having with God while you're having that conversation with the other person
And yourself.
and to really stay consecrated and committed to the godly ideals in handling that situation,
Yeah.
so that at the end of the day, the freedom, the liberation you're looking for, the toxicity of the conversation will not get to preventing you from arriving at that. And you had to stay prayed up as you did. Because I remember in mine, like, yo, that conversation was just as you did, how I felt, the whole situation, properly describing because the other last thing about the text was, if you and I got into a relationship by interaction and by conversation, the text also suggests that you must be willing to, the same way how you got in is the same way how you have to get out.
Wow.
So we tend to get into a relationship with interaction and conversation.
Yeah.
But we get out of it by cutting, with no interaction, just shut down, no communication whatsoever. And so because of that disparity, there is an imbalance in your spirit. And you know there is no closure. And so where I see forgiveness coming full circle is, because I have to break up proper, we need to have a proper conversation, because we got together on a proper conversation.
Exactly.
And we have to leave on a proper conversation. And because in our first conversation, I told you how I felt about you. In the breaking up conversation, I have to tell you how I feel about the situation. Because until you say how you feel, bro, you will hold that person on heart. So having that conversation was being clear about how you feel. And I didn't enter that conversation looking for no justification.
Right.
Partner, that justification road will have you slipping, sliding, you going over the place and men starting to defend themselves. I'm not here for no justification. I'm here to tell you how I felt.
True.
And by doing that, the load was off. And to say, listen, man, I forgive you.
Yeah.
And you have some kind of closure around that. But I'm not here to hear excuses. I'm not here to listen. People do what they had to do. You do what I don't need to know your justifications. You just need to know that what you did made me feel a particular way. And as a result, I want to come for us to talk about that. Be clear on that. And bro, that's when the load was off. And I think God is calling us as Christians to the ideal, where we deal with the situations that are plaguing us, the things that are on our mind, the people who we have on heart, more closely with how He has aligned in His Word, rather than how it's put out in the world.
But you know, even in the world, you get from those persons who are focused on a healthy mind, holistic health. You always hear them talking about how you communicate, how it's good to forgive. even in the world, many people don't know it's a biblical concept. A lot of the things that are going around, like, talk your goals out, like say it, put it out in the universe and it will come back. That is actually from a biblical concept of talking to God, and confirming and saying, I can do all things through Christ. It's basically, in a way, you're doing these things and you're getting results. So even if you're not a Christian and you're tuning into the podcast, there is benefits just psychologically. There are benefits that come from forgiving. And from even thinking, really sitting down and taking some time to approach something in a manner that is not hostile or, angry. Just trying to hear this. You know what? I may not even fully understand everything concerning God, but I need some help to approach this in such a way that after this, I can move on in a positive way in my life. And just know you may not get the response you're looking for.
Correct.
And that's okay. It's not even about the person. It's about you being able to let it go. Forgive, recognize, hey, this is what it is, and things may not change. The perspective of the person may not change, or it may.
Yeah.
I may not get I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't expect I'm sorry.
I might get a sorry. Whatever the outcome is. As one of my students said this week, you're going to get disappointments in life. You won't get everything you want. And I was just like, I'm so proud of that student. When it was asked, I had, 2 of my 4 and 5 students with me. Yeah. And one said, the child said, Miss, how you dealing with heartbreak and breakup and stuff? I said, one of them said, wait, Miss, I have a response. In life, you're not going to get everything you want.
Come on.
And that's something that you can accept from young,
Some profundity in your class, man.
It has some deep children up in, my school.
And so that's...
Shout out to you guys.
And that's this is a bean. We talk about the BeanBag Podcast. Breakups, how we handle those situations, those sometimes toxic, those relieving situations. That's a bean. That we're not trying to spill it. And some persons don't understand, well, okay, why is it we being so honest on this podcast? Because the truth is, if you're willing to put your being in Christ, you have to come full.
Yeah.
That if you've confessed your sins, He is faithful and just to forgive you. And a lot of persons come to God and they want whole forgiveness. They want whole cleansing, but they're bringing half the situation.
Yeah.
And so one of the reasons you and I are being honest on this podcast is because we understand that if you're willing to commit to the beanbag, you're willing to put your thing in there so it can be cooked and be useful in God's service, you have to be able to put it all in. We ain't breaking the bean and putting half in. No.
It's not possible.
The whole bean.
The whole bean.
And I think that's where we want our minds to be positioned, and for you to understand where this podcast, the aim of this podcast is to come to God, find our safe place in Christ, but to do so with all honesty as we possibly can. Yes, of course, there are certain things that, as the Spirit leads, you may be a little bit more, diplomatically direct. But at the end of the day, we want to have the experiences that we go through in life. Some of you too, the experiences that you go through in life be useful to helping other persons who might be going through the same come out successful.
Yeah, we want you to grow through it. As you go through it, grow through it.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has
Gen
been
Z's,
this. I wouldn't say that. Listen, if you're listening to this probably has been broken up into a couple episodes. Well,
it has.
So this is the BeanBag Podcast, where we're literally finding our safe place in Christ. I am Carolius Leslie. This is Shernal Spencer. We didn't even say our names.
Wow.
Because we assumed you knew us. But
it's my Spencer, guys.
That's it. So may God richly bless you guys, and stay tuned for more. If you do see a little bit more situations that we could touch on, talk on,
drop it in the comments.
Drop it in the comments. We'll have an episode talking about that, because all we want to do is, no matter what the type of bean, the size of the bean, it's all going in that bean bag. Have a great one.
Bye, guys.
Wow, that's such a refreshing conversation.
I did not expect to share that next story, but that.
Spirit lead, partner.
Yeah. Is it when we got to that point? I said, you know what? What do you mean?
If you're ready to start the recording?
But y'all were recording it.
Well, we have the recording here though. Whoa! This is a bummer.
Wait. You really thought we just like free spoke for an hour or so?
I thought you told me the hands up.
And he said, hey, welcome to the BeanBag Podcast.
Wow. Is this a message from the Lord? Who knows? Maybe we share too much. What do we make of this?
Wow.
How much did you get though?
Nothing.
But Israel, you was here sitting down watching the thing nice. So 6 o'clock we out here just free talking.
Guys, listen, anytime y'all see us like full on not getting up, that means we literally running like
Yo.
because the podcast is a free talk.
Huh?
Oh my gosh, y'all messing with us.
Whoa! Yo, jeez, no, my God, boy. Why is that so white?
I know how to go in the back and just strangle each other.
I'm coming for that.
Next week when we have no crew, we like, so our crew is missing, but we must press on.
Gee, my Alex, you see you, boy. I
What's
see.
next? Yeah.
See the prank scene, boy.
I hope you know, all of you all in a...
Angel watching me there, and I believe me, man, face.
Oh my gosh. I know the guy attacking her. Carrie trying to play it cool. Here, Carrie. Wait, what?
What do we make of this? What do we make?
So, it's 6 o'clock.
So you're really feeling free talking, boy? Huh? Gee, boy.
Did y'all get out? Did that even... It's still recording?
Is it recording? Okay. Oh no, that was cheese.
We have to get out for bloopers though.
Oh,
because
gee,
here, Carrie,
boy.
right? Oh, well maybe this is the Lord's will to be shared. I want that clip.
Sometimes you just want to make sense.
Yeah.
You just want to make sense of some of the
Oh my
mishaps in
gosh.
life now.
Oh my gosh.